What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video where we are currently live playing the Chinese version of Division 2. We are just in the base of operations and we have come across this character here, which is wearing some interesting apparel nonetheless. But we can inspect this and take a look at the build, and it just about gives us a little bit of insight in how much different this game really is. It is significantly different. Not only is the apparel, but the way the gear works, the stats and everything like that is actually pretty insane. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So just before we get into looking at these two really cool looking guns that are clearly different than our game, let's take a look at a piece that should be familiar to us all. And as you can see here, this talent is actually the same as our talent in the game that we have right now. But what is really interesting is how the attributes are on this game. Now, there's no mods in here. Mods are applied differently in a different menu. You can apply mods for your mask, chest piece, and things like that, all in a different menu. They're handled significantly different. But just off here, if I look at this now, this top bit here, the main core talent, that's actually 33% weapon damage, which is pretty crazy. And if my translation is coming across correct, the next bit is critical hit chance at 13.2%. There then is critical hit damage at 66%, which is pretty crazy. He's then got an armor bonus of 71.5%, and then at the bottom in what is classed as the special slot, there's a further 33% weapon damage, which is absolutely just crazy, right? And this person has obviously spent a lot of time in the game or a lot of money in the game, because as you can see, he is optimized and maxed out completely. For instance, then we can look at his backpack here. Again, he's got Bloodsucker, which I think if I hover over this, let me just kind of translate this. This is perfect Bloodsucker on this. This must be a liquid engineer, which we can probably tell Liam by this being yellow and things like that. And then the 1% armor regen here at the top. But again, the stats underneath are very different. He's got 25% weapon damage. He's got 10% critical hit chance, 50% critical hit damage. And then he's got a 40% damage to life. So I guess that is damage to health stat in here, 40% damage to health. And this will explain why when I'm meeting people in the game, they're extremely powerful, like crazy powerful. Like, these builds are so much different than ours. And what is even more interesting, unfortunately I can't see one on it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can see this person here, they've selected to use the bottom stat on the Grupo and not the top stat, which is critical hit damage, I think, or is it? Yeah, the translation is not coming across perfect, but I can't remember what the bottom stat is on Grupo. I'm live right now. I don't know if anybody in chat can remember what the bottom stat is on 3-piece Grupo, but he's opted to use that. And then he's got 25% weapon damage. He's got 50%. Oh, it's the same stat. So I'm interested to know what the bottom stat is on Grupo. If somebody in chat can look that up while I'm making this video, that would be great. He's then got damage to health as the 40% stats here. And then at the bottom one, he's got critical hit rate again. So 10% critical hit chance on the bottom. So it's all just kind of crazy. Like, these stats are absolutely insane. We look here. I'm very interested to see if these are contractor's gloves. They do look like contractor's gloves. So they are giving out LMG damage at the top. But we would have... Oh, so that's the 50% here. I'm wondering if this is damage to armor value. The 50%. So the same as the other one that we found on there, and was wondering what it was. I think this has got 50% damage to armor. And then he's got crit chance and crit damage again. So yeah, pretty crazy. But let's have a look at this gun here. So if I was to try and translate the name, this is called the Gemini. So this is a Gemini and it's an assault rifle, which is pretty crazy. And if we were to look at it here, it's got assault rifle damage, weapon damage, critical hit chance, And then 22% damage to targets out of cover. And then we've got damage to elites. So they've got 16% damage to elites on here as well. So if we have a look at this here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to translate this very good, but it says, for every 1,600 increase in single damage, the upper limit of the critical hit rate is increased by an additional 2% up to 20%. So it looks like it's some kind of, critical hit damage increase, depending on how many shots that you've fired into the enemy. Yeah, so you get 4 points for shooting the body. You get 2 points for hitting a shield. And different various parts of the body, or the person, the target you're hitting, gives you more points. And I guess up to 1,600 points is where you'll get maximum stacks to hit maximum damage. That's a pretty neat talent. I like the sounds of that gun. Let's have a look what these say at the bottom here on the. So we've got, there's just empty slots at the bottom, and then I guess these are upgrade materials needed. But he's optimized it. He has put some work in for that as well. And then if we're having a look at this one, that looks like someone's tied it together with their shoelaces. This one is called. This is not an illusion. No, that can't be it. Maybe that's the description. So the translation is coming across as the China knot, which I guess, because there's a lot of knots in the rifle, that kind of explains what that is. The attributes we've got on it are, so this is a rifle. Yes, this is a rifle. We've got rifle damage at the top. We've then got critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and I think that is headshot damage as well. Then at the bottom here, we've got extra weapon damage on it. And then here we've got, so this is perfect breadbasket. So successfully hitting the body can give you 50% headshot or, normal damage lasting up to 10 seconds. So this is perfect breadbasket on this. And we all know we've got breadbasket in the game previously. So this is a rifle. So yeah, pretty crazy and pretty tasty. This is what looks like an orbit. I'm guessing this is an orbit. It calls it a track, but let's have a look what the talent says. Perfect Terminator. Switch to other weapons within 0 seconds after defeating an enemy, and you get 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage. So I guess, it's like the orbit. So that's why it looks and feels the same. I just don't know if the icon's the same. Doesn't look familiar, but maybe it is. But then you can see here, so this is the mods. So rather than placing the mods on the gear like we do, they have a separate mod menu. And obviously you can see here, they're the mask mods. And he's leveled them up to, level 7. So if I kind of translate over this. So he's got a level 7 defense mod on that. He's then got a performance. So he's got a skill duration mod on that. He's then got a damage mod on that. So, and obviously you can level them up, and then again here you can see he's got weapon mods on this as well. So it doesn't matter what weapon he equips, these mods will always apply. It doesn't matter what gear he equips, these mods will always apply. And I kind of like this approach. I think this approach for mods would be really good in our version of the game, because you could put the mods on and interchange your gear and not necessarily have to worry too much about it. It actually looks pretty crazy. Then obviously he's, I don't know how good his stats will be. Our stats can be a little bit misleading, but for instance, it looks like critical hit chance caps at 60%, just like ours, but he's got 421% critical hit damage, which is absolutely insane. He's got 250% headshot damage, which is absolutely crazy. He's got nearly 80% armor damage. He's got 120% of something called vital damage, it's translating across as. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. He's got accuracy and stability here, which I desperately need in my build because my guns control absolutely terrible. He's got weapon swap speed in there. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. But as we saw him in the boot, they've now gone, so I can't look at them anymore. But we thought, yeah, we'll make a quick video just to kind of give you the stats that I'm dealing with. And I've just crashed because I do crash in this game as much as I do crash in my normal game as well. But that is going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.